Have you ever been disrespected? Of course you have. It happens to all of us. But what's the best way to respond when it happens? Are you going to let them walk all over you, or will you fight back? Well, in this video, I'm going to tell you exactly what you should do according to the world's greatest evil genius. Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at a quote from The Prince by Niccolò Machiavelli. So if you like evil, genius, or both at once, then make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any more videos. So the quote is, if someone shows you disrespect, do this. When someone strikes you, don't strike back at him with your hand, but with your mind. Go so far as to study the character of the man who has done you wrong, and you will find ample opportunity to use his own weapons against him. In other words, if someone disrespects you, don't stoop down to their level. Don't show them disrespect right back. No, sir. Instead, outsmart them. Get in their head. Become more cunning than they are. That's the only way to win against an opponent, according to Machiavelli. Now let's get into why this advice is brilliant and how you can use it to get ahead in life. So there's nothing more frustrating than when someone shows you disrespect, especially when it's unprovoked. They could be talking about you behind your back, spreading rumors, or just treating you poorly for no reason. And it's hard not to stoop down to their level and retaliate. But that's exactly what Machiavelli is saying not to do. He's saying that you should rise above it and be the bigger person. Of course, that doesn't mean you should just take it lying down. That would just make you look weak and pathetic. Instead, you should use your mind, your wit, and your intelligence to outsmart them. Think about it. What's the point of getting into a shouting match with someone who's already lost their mind? You're just going to end up looking like the bad guy. Plus, you don't want to waste your time and energy on people who don't deserve it. Instead, use that energy to come up with a clever comeback that will make them regret ever crossing you in the first place. This doesn't just apply to arguments and fights either. It applies to everything from business negotiations to romantic relationships. When someone's trying to screw you over or take advantage of you, don't just sit back and let it happen. Fight back with your mind. Be cunning, be strategic, and don't be afraid to get a little creative. Of course, this isn't easy to do. It takes a lot of mental agility and quick thinking to come up with a good comeback. But that's why it's important to practice. The more you put yourself in situations where you have to think on your feet, the better you'll become at it. And the next time someone tries to disrespect you, you'll be ready for them. Another thing to remember is that you don't always need to be the one to dish out the disrespect. Sometimes it's okay to receive it. That might sound counterintuitive, but hear me out. There's a lot of situations in life where it's in your best interest to take the high road. For example, if you're trying to negotiate a business deal, it's probably not a good idea to start throwing insults around. Even if you feel like you're justified, it's just not worth it. On the other hand, if the other party starts insulting you, it might be a good idea to just let it slide. After all, they've just given you a golden opportunity to get in their head. Insult them right back, and you'll just be seen as petty and immature. But if you can remain calm and collected, it'll make you look like the bigger, more professional person. Who knows? Maybe you can even use their insults to your advantage. Now I know what you're thinking. This all sounds well and good, but how do you actually use someone's disrespect to your advantage? Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? The truth is there's no one-size-fits-all answer. It depends on the situation. However, here are a few ideas to get you started. In any situation where you're being disrespected, the first thing you need to do is figure out why. Once you understand the root of the problem, you can start to develop a plan to address it. For example, if you're being disrespected by a coworker, it could be because they're jealous of your success. If that's the case, you might be able to diffuse the situation by giving them a compliment or two. On the other hand, if you're being disrespected by a customer, it could be because they're having a bad day. If that's the case, it might be best to just let it go. Next, you need to decide how you're going to respond. Are you going to fight fire with fire, or are you going to take the high road? There's no right or wrong answer here. It all depends on the specific situation and your relationship with the person who's disrespecting you. However, I would caution you against responding in kind. As a general rule, it's never a good idea to stoop to someone else's level. Not only will it make you look bad, but it won't solve the underlying problem. Instead, try to take a deep breath and remain calm. Even if it's not easy, it will pay off in the long run. Finally, you need to follow through on your response. This is the make or break part. If you decide to confront the person who's disrespecting you, you need to do it in a firm but respectful manner. If you come across as angry or hostile, you'll just make things worse. On the other hand, if you can maintain your composure and clearly articulate your thoughts, you'll be more likely to get the respect you deserve. So remember, the next time someone tries to disrespect you, don't just take it lying down. Use your mind and outsmart them. Be witty, be strategic, and be calm. In the heat of the moment, it's not always easy to do, but it's definitely worth it. All right, now it's time to hear from you. How do you handle disrespect? Do you fight back, or do you take the high road? Let me know in the comments below. Also, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. And as always, thank you for watching.